Ismail Shamsuddin, and I'm one of the Executive Director of Development Outreach. And we are launching this campaign for the seniors as well as the youth so that we can continue to make progress in our community, bring about changes for our community.
Seniors?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And today I feel very good.
Yes, I do. I enjoy it.
We'll see who has the best decorated cupcake and win.
Oh, this is Fit and Fine?
Yeah. And yourself here today?
So is.
Thank you.
I just turned I just became official senior citizen. I am now 65 years old and 65 years good.
Community is the people in the community. If our community is dirty and filthy, it's because the people in the community are dirty and filthy. If our community is filled with love and fellowship, it's all about the people. I lost 43 pounds. I feel great. Eating healthy, taking care of yourself, regulating, and this is the crazy thing. I eat more but less. I eat more times a day but less food. And I feel great. I lost 43 pounds. I ain't got no clothes that fit me.
Welcome to Fit and Fine. I'm your host, Sheron Mickie. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for tuning into our show. We have Laila, who's going to teach us so much about food preparedness, home canning, safety. Tell us more about what you're going to teach us, Laila.
it's always about planning and preparation. You know, so right now it's planning, preparation, and practice.
Okay.
Part of the classes that we do is that we teach people how to store food. We teach people about food preservation, how to can and preserve food,
yes,
and how to salt. These are all techniques that our ancestors practiced in the past as far as like preserving food.
yes.
You know, so how to grow food. You know, there's one of the classes that we do in the program that we have is we teach people how to fish.
Wow.
Okay. We teach you how to fish. We teach you how to, you know, have a garden where you can have a garden. Even though you're in an apartment, you can still make yourself a garden.
Right.
Okay, so just those types of foods and types of things that you would grow under those types of conditions. All right. Also, with the canning and preserving, where we teach people how to can their own foods, because this is what I know my grandmother practiced that.
Yeah.
You know, we grew up on a farm. My family grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
So as far as like harvesting, reaping and harvesting. And then when you harvest, then there's a certain amount that you keep and there's a certain amount that you eat.
Right.
Okay. So that was the biggest practice, because see, now when the weather's cold and you know you're not planting, or you can't plant, or nothing's growing, then you have something to sustain you,
yes,
during those periods of time.
Yes.
So that's part of some of the things that we do also.
So, Laila, please tell my fabulous audience, tell us more about your class.
We have a class right now, and I have a class where I teach people about canning. We call it home canning for survival, and that's with canning is where it's a pasteurization process. That's what you're basically doing, where you're pasteurizing the food in order to be able to preserve it for a period of time. So we can vegetables, tomatoes, meat, fish. Most of the things that you can kind of like buy in the supermarket, but most of what we can are basically organic products. Okay, so we don't can anything with the GMO products. We don't can anything with preservatives or pesticides or grown in that manner. If you're going to can that type of stuff, then you might as well just go into the supermarket and buy it.
When it comes down to canning your food, is it healthier for you to can your foods, or should you go to the supermarket where they have them already canned with salt and all that other stuff inside of it?
Well, when you can it yourself, then you are in control of the quality of the food that you're preparing. Okay, so you don't need salt in order to can food.
Oh.
No, I mean that's a misnomer. Okay, and you can control the sugar content that's in your food when you do it like that also. And my thing is, the main thing is that the ingredients that you use or the produce that you use has to do with organically grown produce. That
Right.
don't have the pesticides, the insecticides, and those types, and the herbicides that they use on food. So you can control that. So it is a better quality food. Okay.
So let me ask you, what is the procedure? How do you can?
How do you get?
How do you do it?
It's a big process. It's a big
process?
Yeah, but then most of the time when I do it, and we have like a set of classes that we may go for like a week, and it's over like 20 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But the most emphasis is on sanitation.
Keeping everything clean,
Yes,
neat,
right,
tidy.
because we have to make sure that, you know, once we can something, 6 months from now we should be able to eat it.
Right.
Or a year from now we should be able to eat it. Okay,
Right.
so that's why the sanitation is important, because you know the biggest problem that they talk about is the botulism. Okay, and botulism is a toxin and it can kill you.
When the can is bent?
Yes, you know, when we do it with metal cans and they talk about if the can is bent or you or swollen up, or
I've
you
heard
see,
of that,
yeah,
yeah.
you know, even when you have things that in are glass containers and the lid doesn't, you know, when you press
Pop.
the little button, right,
Yeah, like it
that,
doesn't-
right,
yeah,
doesn't,
something
yeah, then it hasn't been, then something has grown inside of it that can, it can kill you.
Oh.
Okay, so this is why the first part of the class is where we spend like at least an hour every session dealing with that and dealing with the sanitary aspect of the canning procedure.
Yes.
You know, because see, once you get that right, then everything else is easy. Okay, even though it's kind of time consuming, but it's a labor of love.
Yes.
Because I'm doing this for myself.
And I'll be able to eat.
Yes.
Come this next winter.
Right,
Mhm.
right, you know, so
understand.
I want to make sure that what I'm going to do, that I'm doing it correctly and I'm going in the right procedure in terms of doing it, so that when I get ready to open it to eat it, I have no problems. Okay, and then the other part is to be able to identify that also, you know, because sometimes things happen, you know, where if it's not stored correctly or it's not done correctly and you may not catch it, so then that means that you have to be able to recognize it when you see it, so that you can, you know, that nothing happens to you then either though.
Right.
Okay, so that's why that's the biggest part of the process.
Who can learn about canning?
Everybody can learn.
Really?
Yes, even children.
Really?
Yes, I mean when my kids, when we had a garden in the backyard,
Yes.
so they're like 4 and 5, and then what I would do is that they would do the garden.
Oh, okay.
So we grew tomatoes and cucumbers and collard greens and
Sounds good.
What else? It's probably like kale.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then that was their job every day, you know, during the season to be able to go out. This is in Harlem,
Right.
So this is not in South Carolina.
Right.
You know, you go out, you take your weeds out, and then they know what to do. So then, like in September, then we have all these tomatoes. So with all the tomatoes, then you'll go out there and you'll pick the tomatoes, and then we even filmed that when they were young. Yeah, we filmed
that's
it.
great.
You know, it's like, okay, well, come on, let's go. And everybody had their little job in terms of what it is that they did as far as that whole process was concerned. And then the same thing like with the cucumbers. Then with the cucumbers, then we would make pickles.
Out of cucumbers?
That's what pickles are.
No.
Yes.
I never knew that. I never knew that, Laila.
Yeah.
Pickles are cucumbers?
Yes.
Wow. Learn a lot here. So what are some of the other products that we can jar?
Kale, collard greens.
Collard greens. I gonna jar some collard greens.
Definitely. Collard greens, sweet potatoes, corn, carrots. Any type of vegetable you can do as a bump. Not too much like broccoli or cauliflower, because those are very soft. So usually with them we'll pickle those. Yeah, we'll pickle those.
What pickle mean? Vinegar?
Well, the pickling process is where you're using, it's a brine, and brine is made out of basically salt. Pickling salt, where you put it in salt and water, and over a period of time then it ferments.
Awesome.
It's a fermentation process. You make cabbage, and from the cabbage they make sauerkraut.
I knew that.
Oh, you knew
I knew
that
that
one. Okay, all right. Yeah, I have some sauerkraut that I just made. I made and I set up in like the end of 2012. That's on my counter.
Yes.
And so it's 3 months now, and you know it ferments.
I wanted to ask you, how long can we keep our canning? Like when we go through the whole process, and how long before can we eat it?
Well,
I mean, we can eat it.
You can eat it
but how
anytime
long?
you want to, but you store it for a year.
Oh, 1 year.
Yes, because
That's a long
what,
time.
Of course it is, and that's what I recommend in terms of to be able to have the best quality of it. So it's like over a year. And again, when our ancestors were doing it, they were doing it for the cold season.
Right.
Because again, beginning in April, end of March, right now, when you're preparing the soil, and then you're going to plant again.
Yes.
Okay, so it's that regeneration process all the time, over and over and over again. So we don't store food for years and years and years like that.
Right, I like this. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
So, okay, I know we live in the city.
Yes.
But you said that there are ways that we can garden even if we live in an apartment?
Yes, even in an apartment. I mean, you do have fire escapes, you do have windowsills, and they have a lot of ways that you can do it. They're called hydroponics, where they're using a lot of water, when you grow your plants in water. So that's another type of process also. So
The windowsill, that's a little cute little cups plants that my grandmother used to have.
Yeah,
Windowsill that she used to chop up in her soups and stuff, right?
Right, yeah, those
Okay,
are herbs. The
okay,
herbs, and the
herbs,
basil,
okay.
right,
But I thought when you said we can garden
Well,
in
again,
our
you can do
apartment.
sprouts. You can do sprouts also. So you just got to be, what you would plant are things that you eat.
Right.
That's what you,
Like
that's what you
tomatoes.
grow. Right, so you can grow tomatoes in your apartment, and it's depending on, you have to have the right exposure in terms of the sun, because they do need a lot of
Oh,
sunlight.
so then that ends my tomato.
Really? Oh, it's in the back. Really? Oh, that's
I'm
funny.
so interested. I'm like, Laila, I had no idea that we can actually plant anything and eat it in our house,
No
in
doubt
our
about it.
apartment.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll have Laila, who's going to show us how we can start canning our own foods. Welcome back, everybody. Laila has all of these great ingredients that I just want to eat up right here. So, Laila, tell us, earlier in the show, you were telling us that there are different foods that we can can.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, what's this?
Oh, okay. Well, these are some things that I've canned in the past, and let me see. This is
Organic collard greens.
These are collard greens.
Okay, so they look like they're already chopped up and everything.
Oh,
And
yeah.
what water's in here? Is it water?
It's the pot liquor.
Oh, pot liquor. Awesome. What's this?
This is chili con carne.
Ooh, that's that chili you were talking about.
Yes, organic beef with organic tomatoes and the beans, and once you open this up, and then warm it up, or you can just eat it in a jar like that. Okay. This is tomato sauce. So all you have to do is just warm up your spaghetti.
Yes.
And then the spaghetti sauce, and you put it on your spaghetti. And
Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, okay. And this is organic corn.
Yes.
Okay. And this is the
Dandelion
greens.
What's
Dandelion
that?
greens. Yeah, they're the greens. They're good for your liver.
Oh.
Okay. So, and this is organic kale. So, same thing with the collard greens. These are all in the same family.
What's that one over there hiding?
Aha! This is chicken. Organic chicken.
Wow, organic
Yes.
chicken that's
Yes.
already ready in a jar where we
Yes.
can have it up to 1 year from the
Yes.
date that you have written on
Right,
the top.
from this date that's on here.
And each one of these
Okay.
cans have the little dip that goes in that lets
Right.
you know that it is closed and
Make
sealed
sure
properly.
it's closed.
Wow.
Right. This is what we
These are
started
cans
with.
unused with. Right. Okay.
Right.
So what's
so
up?
this is what we're talking about here.
Ooh,
When
right
you
here?
hear that? Oh, this here. That's the danger sign. You finish canning and your jaws do this, then
No
you
good.
better not do it.
Body.
Yeah. So either you would process it again, or you put it in the refrigerator and eat it.
Okay.
Okay. So no.
Oh,
Once
it's
it does
still
that-
good, but it won't be good to store. I mean,
Right,
but
you can't store it.
Right, but you
Right,
can
but
still
you
eat
can still
it.
eat it. Right.
Okay.
So no, it hasn't sat in the out and hasn't been under any type of refrigeration for a period of time. But then you can still eat it though, so it's fine. You just cooked it, so just like any food that you would normally cook.
So Laila, once we have a jar like this and we put our ingredients, our organic ingredients inside the jar, what do we do next?
Okay, well, there's a process before it even gets in the jar, but once you put it in the jar, then you know, like I'm saying, these are different sizes here. Now this is the half pint size.
Yes.
This is a pint. This is also a pint, but these are called the wide mouth jars, where you know you put different. Say like I want to can like some carrots,
Yes.
or some cucumbers, or those types of things, or asparagus. Then you would use a wide mouth jar. Otherwise, then this is just the standard size here, and this is the quart size. All right, and this right here, little pretty jar,
It's your jam.
Jams, jellies, and marmalades.
Ooh.
So if you like anything like that, you can make your own, and then you don't have to worry about Welch's, so you don't have to worry about anybody else's, because then it's yours.
Ooh.
Okay, and it'll store for a year. Most of the time when I do my candy, then I do these small sizes,
Yeah.
because once you open it, then you gotta eat.
Right.
Okay, so it's not to the point where, oh, I'm open, you're gonna leave, and you know, I wouldn't make a quart size for myself.
Right.
Okay, but then for when a family, if you have a family, you have more people, then you would store in larger sizes. Most of the books that you read about, then most of the candy is basically standing for these size jars. You know, so I mean, there's some things there aren't very many things that you can do in a 64-ounce jar when you're doing your home candy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a couple of juices that you can do like that, but that's about it. But with these sizes here, then most of the literature from the USDA, Department of Agriculture, then it's that sound?
Very good.
It's for these sizes. All right.
So they
So once you now the whole thing about the longest process in canning after you get everything sanitized is making your meal. Okay, because see, once you make your meal, when I did my spaghetti sauce here, then this took me about 6 hours from start to finish, because I'm starting with tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, cutting those up, green peppers, onions, garlic, that type of stuff. And then once you cut them up, and then some people take the seeds out, some people take the skin out, you know, like that. But then, and once you do that, then it's the it has to cook down to thicken. So that's what takes the longest time, you know, when you're thickening that sauce.
Yes.
Okay, so that takes time. And then you put it in the, it's in your jar. And this is the water bath can
Yay! Now.
that you would normally use for tomato sauce. And in the water bath can, it has, this is the jar holder. So what happens is that this sits up here on the pot, like here, and the pot has water in it. All right, and then it comes to a boil. But then these jars here, so it could probably sit about 7 of these pint-sized jars that sit inside of the can. And then you take them, and then they get submerged beneath the water.
So.
Okay, and then you have to time it. So sides go down, down into water,
Wow.
and then when it
And
finishes,
then the water heats up all of the.
right, the water is like 1 inch over the jar.
Yes.
And then it boils.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then, okay.
Oh, Laila, this is so great. I've learned so much.
Yeah. And with this one right here, then most of the time, that's the enamel one. This is the stainless steel.
This one is the enamel.
Yes.
And this is the stainless steel.
This is the stainless
Tell
steel.
us about the stainless steel.
Okay, with this particular one here, you can also do a form of, this is called a multi-use canner.
Yes.
And this one here, it has like a pressure gauge on it that you can, you're still doing the water canning though. And you're following, but this shows you the type of pressure that builds up in this particular pot. It has the same.
Hold on 1 second. Just hold on 1 second. No, you're gonna stop. Don't edit it. Just give me 1 second.
So it has the same rack inside, and the same thing it hooks on there, and it processes in the same way. Most of the time for me, I like stainless steel because the longevity of it. Okay, if you're going to buy tools, and this is a tool,
Yes.
then you buy tools that are going to last you.
Stainless
Okay,
steel is
right.
a tool that will last you.
It's going to last you.
Okay.
Okay.
So Laila, tell us more about these other tools that you have here.
Okay.
Is it important to use certain cutlery or can we just use any knives that we have? Okay.
You can see the main canner though.
No.
No, that canner there is for the tomatoes.
Oh.
The same thing like with this one here that I would normally use it for, but the other canner is the serious one.
Oh, okay. Let's see the other canner.
All right, this is the serious one.
Whoa.
And this is a pressure canner, And it can be very intimidating just looking at it. You know, I call it RTD2. So all it needs to be, we have some little little wheels on it and roll and that type of thing. But this is what they call a pressure gauge canner.
Yes.
And with the pressure gauge, you have the pressure here, but then this is the gauge. And with this here, then this is good. You can do 5 pounds, 10, or 15 pounds of pressure. So it's a whole process that you have to go through when you're using this right here, because this is what you can your meat in, this is what you can your chili in, this is what you can your vegetables in and your fish.
Yes.
And those types of dishes is what you use the pressure canner, because the pressure canner builds up to over 240 degrees.
Whoa.
Pressure. Okay, and then that's what seals these jars and kills the bacteria inside and makes it safe for you to be able to eat.
How many
Preserve.
of these pints can we put in the pressure cooker?
And this particular one here, you can put 14.
Whoa!
Yes. You can put 14. They have bigger ones too. I mean, they have one, oh boy, I think it's like 41 quart size. It's very tall. I mean, it's tall, almost taller than me. You know, so these here, it's two levels to it. So you have two level racks. So it's 7 and then 7.
Oh.
Okay, and with the quart size, then you can just put 7 quart size. Just one layer of those because those are tall.
Yeah.
In this particular size. Okay, so yeah, you can get 14 of these inside.
Let's do that again.
Yeah.
Okay, this has just been great, Laila. Thank you so much. I've learned how to prepare myself. Now I just need to practice.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to your class. Hopefully I'll be a good student. If not, I'll just eat my stuff as soon as I make it. Thank you. So Laila, if anyone had any questions or they wanted to try to contact you, is there a way they can do that?
We have a phone number.
Okay.
The number is 212-876-3900.
Okay.
212-876-3900.
Thank you so much, Laila.
You're welcome. Hello, I'm Laila, and I'm fit and fine because I make my own food. So, and you can too. So it's very easy. So whatever it is that I put in my body, that I know exactly what's in it. All right. So again, if you like to change these empty jars into these types of jars, then, you know, get in contact with us. Contact with us at 212-876-3900. 212-876-3900. Yes, and I can my own chicken too. So again, I have a meal here. I have my chicken, I have my collard greens, and I have my yams, and all of them are organic. That's a nice meal. Okay.
It could be really exciting. You never know who's going to stop him. But the production is really about self-actualization and about youth empowerment.
Yes.
And getting to know who you are so that you can be an empowered generation. If you're at a certain place, at a certain time, and a certain event happens, it can change your life. So if you're sitting, you know, I just kept on thinking about going in the turnstile and just that person stopping him from taking the wrong choice. So the turnstile is really symbolic of life. exciting. You never know who's going to stop him. But the production is really about self-actualization and about youth empowerment.
Yes.
And getting to know who you are so that you can be an empowered generation. If you're at a certain place, at a certain time, and a certain event happens, it can change your life. So if you're sitting, I just kept on thinking about going in the turnstile and just that person stopping him from taking the wrong choice. So the turnstile is really symbolic of life.